What is up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of FitBizU. I'm your host, Jill Coleman, and today we are going to talk about planning. Now, I'm going to admit that I'm not the best at planning. It's not, and people always ask me, it's like, do you batch your social media posts? Do you plan your social media posts for a month? And if you guys scroll social media, I'm sure you'll see people say like, hey, get your entire month of social media posts planned in an hour or something like that. And I think there's a good intention here. I think for a lot of us, we're really busy, and I don't think that planning is a terrible idea. However, I do think that you have to kind of filter it through your own personality. Now, it's not that I entirely don't plan. I'll share with you how I do here in a second, but oftentimes if you plan too much in advance, you may not really want to talk about the thing that you talked about 30 days ago, right? So if you sit down on a Sunday and you're like, okay, I'm going to plan all of my social media posts for the next month, 3 weeks later, you might not be feeling it. And in my experience, that has happened. And so this is a question from Chelsea, shout out, she's an FBA. She said, how do I plan my posts, like monthly or weekly, or what does that look like? Now, if you need to because you are so busy, then go for it, right? I'd much rather you guys just get it up, even if it's not like something you're feeling, even if it's not, like totally in alignment every second, that's okay. Just get it up. It's totally fine. Check the box. But over time, I will validate. There's a few things to think about when you are planning out your social media posts. First of all, you have to know where your business is headed. And what I mean by that is, are you launching soon? Do you have a launch coming up? Because if you do, then you need to start steering the conversation in advance. This is called the runway. So the runway is how you're sort of leading up to card open. Now, if you work with me in FBA or Legacy or the Mastermind, like a minimum 1 month runway, like minimum 1 month. So runway / I call it anticipation phase, where we're sort of steering the conversation towards what we want people to care about. So for example, if I know that I have a nutrition coaching launch in 2 months, I'm probably going to start steering my content towards nutrition. Maybe not 100% of the time, but maybe 80% of the time, right? And then leave that last 20% for like other things that come up, whether it's fitness or, personal or whatever. But most of my posts are going to be around nutrition because I want to lead people to caring about this topic. So number one, know where your business is headed. Now, I think at first, at JillFit, we launch almost every single month because we launch multiple things because we run multiple programs at once and we have a team and all that kind of stuff. But for you getting started, maybe you're only launching like once or twice a year, or maybe your coaching is open all the time. So there's maybe not something that you're leading up to, but as your business grows, you are going to have more launches. So a lot of times my clients will tell me it's easy to know what to post when I'm in a launch. What's harder is when I'm not in a launch, because I'm kind of like, it's like this weird in between space. I feel like I'm in limbo. If you know where your business is headed next, this is why I do a year-long planning for JillFit. We have our launch calendar a year in advance. We always know what's next. Now at JillFit, we have fitness offers, we have nutrition offers, we have mostly business offers. So you might just have fitness and nutrition. Cool. So what's coming up next? What do you want people to care about? I have clients that are macro coaches and they're also Moderation 365 certified. And at times, they launch for macros because they know of people in their audience that want more structure. And then other times they launch for more intuitive eating or Moderation 365. And so they'll talk about mindfulness and moderation and satisfaction and some of these other things. So, and there's people in their audience that want that. They don't want to track anymore. And so think about if you have a couple different topics, where's your business going? What's next up on the schedule? And then you can start really steering the conversation in that direction. So high level, know where it's headed. And as your business grows, you'll be launching more. So this will actually be easier. Of course, you can always double down on your stories posts and your solutions posts. So are you doing at least 1 to 2 solutions posts per week? Are you doing at least 1 to 2 stories posts per week? Are you talking about your services consistently? And I also want to validate that when you're in launch, right, or you're leading up to a launch, you're probably going to be increasing the amount of posting that you're doing. So leading up to a launch or in a launch, there's going to be more consistency. People need to see your messages more and you're selling, right? So you're getting ready to sell or you're selling. When you're not getting ready to sell or you're not actively selling, it's okay to take a step back, right? If you're like, I'm posting every single day and then the launch is over, like take a breather, right? Your people aren't going anywhere. So instead of posting every single day, post 2-3 times a week. Just maintain a low level of relevancy in those middle times. And so this kind of goes to, we've had this conversation before where there's sort of anabolic modes in the business and there's sort of catabolic modes. Your anabolic mode is when you're not selling. So this is where you're building value, you're building trust, you're building your email list, you're sort of building things up so that at some point you can ask for the sale. When you ask for the sale, this is what we call catabolic mode, where we're sort of breaking things down. So the business itself has more anabolic times between launches, and then it has catabolic times when we're actually launching. And so if you know those things, you can kind of go, okay, how often do I need to be posting? When you're in the anabolic time, you're giving a ton of value, but you're not asking for anything. 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week is totally fine. People ask me all the time, like, how often do you post when you're not launching? And I'm like, shit, I don't know, 3 to 4 times a week max on social. But you better believe when I'm launching, it's 2-3 times a day, right? Because I need people to see it. I'm actively launching. And so it's okay to sort of have times where maybe you're less volume of posts. And then as you're getting closer to a launch, you ramp it up. Now, if you just are in some of those middle times where you're not launching, what do you post? And how can you create a rinse and repeat sort of method for how to do this, or rinse and repeat approach? So one thing you can do is you can definitely do, and I have a lot of clients that do this, is they theme their days. So if they're going to post Monday through Friday, and that's their commitment to their business, they go, okay, it's Mindset Monday. It's, Recipe Tuesday. It's Workout Wednesday. It's, it's Tactical Thursday. And then it's like Friday favorites, top 5 favorites or something like that, right? Friday faves. So you can do that each week. And to me, that makes things a little bit easier. You have these themes, you have these topics. It's sort of like a column in a magazine, right? If you look at a magazine, there's, a fitness column, a nutrition column, a recipe column. So you can kind of theme your days that way. And that would work as well. Or you can theme the entire week. So for example, maybe you're a nutrition coach and this week, everything's about carbs, right? You're uncovering misconceptions, you're answering frequently asked questions, common concerns about carbs, and you're just doing a whole education on carbohydrates. Then next week, it's protein week. And you're doing all posts about misconceptions around protein, how much protein, what kinds of protein. And then week 3, it's all about dietary fats. Now I'm talking about, brain health and satisfaction and all these kind of things, like what are the healthiest fats and things like that. So you can theme your days and just rinse and repeat that, or you can actually theme your weeks. This is a really easy way for you guys to just be like, cool, it's protein week. And come up with, if you're posting 5 times, come up with 5 different posts. I'd be like, how much protein? What kind of protein? Usefulness of protein, building muscle versus fat loss protein, right? Misconceptions about protein. That's 5 topics right there. That's 5 things you can share on social media. So you can definitely do weekly themes. You can do daily themes or daily topics. And again, most of this is going to be important for as you are in the middle of launches, right? Between launches, as you approach a launch, you're getting more and more focused on the thing that you are selling. So that when people ask me like how I post or how I plan, I don't really ever write out captions in advance. I usually write my captions in real time because again, I want to sort of honor where I'm at, like my headspace is at that day. But I do have topic ideas, and I do have topic ideas for my launches specifically. So for example, right now I'm sort of in a fitness season in my business. We're doing Physique 40. So all my posts have been around fitness. And then come like end of July, early August, I'm going to switch back into business season. We're going to launch FBA in September. And so when I know I'm going to be in business season, then I know I'm getting ready to launch a business course. I might start curating a list. And I use the Notes app on my phone, like curating a list of topics that I want to touch on during the launch. And I do a lot of like tweet posts. I do a lot of reel posts, like little tidbits, like educational tidbits. I do a lot of carousel posts. So I might have an idea, like for example, I don't know, abundance versus scarcity mindset. And I'm going to be like, cool, what are my top, 5 ways to feel in abundance? And that might be a carousel post. So I will write like, on my app, my Notes app, I'll write abundance versus scarcity, carousel post, and then I'll list out the 5 tips. And I just put that as a note on my phone. And I might have something that says like FBA launch at the top of that note. And then when I'm actually in the launch, I'll actually create a lot of that stuff in real time. I might create it maybe a couple of days beforehand, something like that. But I usually know ahead of time what my posts are going to be about. If I'm launching, then I know how to market. So I know what the most important selling points are and the most important messages are for FBA. So I'll make sure that I'm touching on things like, investment and overcoming the time objection, overcoming the money objection, and overcoming the readiness objection. So I sort of know going into it what kinds of posts I need to put in advance. And I'll just make a list of those. And then it's easy for me to go, okay, day 1 of the launch, here's the 3 posts. Day 2 of the launch, here's the 3 posts. Day 3 of the launch, here's 3 posts. So I usually have those in advance, but I just have the ideas. And then I usually write the captions in real time. Again, this does get faster the more you've done it. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, Jill, I don't know if that would work for me. It takes me an hour to write a caption. That's real. I want to validate that. I think, over time it has helped me get faster. I've created literally thousands of captions. So it just gets faster. You know what you want to say. Even if you listen to this podcast, you probably hear me say a lot of the same things a lot of the time. And the same thing with captions, right? There's only so many different new ideas. You're probably just recreating or, saying something you've said before in a different way. And so that does get a lot faster. I want to sort of reiterate that, but don't beat yourself up. All of this to say, don't beat yourself up if you don't have like a content calendar and you don't have like a perfectly curated Instagram feed of ideas that you did every single once a month for every month. Like really, it's okay to post in real time, but you do need to filter it through. Like, do I have the time bandwidth? I would encourage you to post yourself rather than using a third-party posting app. Some apps will, you're able to put a bunch of posts in and then they just post them themselves. But I really want you guys to be in your social media so that if there are questions or people comment on your post, you're there to answer those posts. If you're there in real time when you post it, stay on for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes afterwards and be able to have conversation with people who do comment on the post because there's some real time benefit of doing that. So do not recommend a third-party poster. I know this is hard because a lot of you guys are so busy and you have a lot of competing priorities, but this is, if you don't do anything else in your business, you have to build your audience and you have to build them on these free platforms because that's where people are hanging out. So great question. Don't think I've done an episode on this before, so I appreciate it. And hopefully that is helpful for you guys and gives you a little insight into how I do things. Speaking of how I do things, we have the FBA launch coming up soon. So for those of you who are in that year 0 to 2 of internet business and you are ready for business coaching, ready for business mentorship, FBA is launching in September. It stands for Fitness Business Accelerator. It's for those who are in the health and fitness space, for coaches, trainers, people like that, movement professionals who want to learn internet business and really start building out their courses, their coaching, and their group coaching. So go to jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist to get on that waitlist. As we get a little bit closer to the launch, waitlisters will get early access, they'll get early details, and they will also get an exclusive discount. So there is absolutely no obligation to be on that, but go to jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist. Add your name there. You'll get some additional details as we get closer, but that is coming up soon. So I want to make sure you guys have access to that, especially if you've been listening to this podcast and you're ready to go. Always appreciate your time and attention. Thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.